This Christmas story is hilarious. The person that shared this said that she is 2 years older than her little sister. Well, when her sister was 5 years old, she had walked up to her Christmas tree a few weeks before Christmas, and she saw a giant wrapped box with her name on it. Look, Carla, this biggest present here is mine. It has my name on it. It's bigger than all of yours. Naturally, she was really mad. What the heck? She was jealous that her sister was gonna get the biggest present there. Well, fast forward to Christmas morning, and they were opening up their presents. It was time for her 5-year-old sister to open up that big present that she was so excited about. All right, sweetie, why don't you open that big one right there? In your face. She opened it up in a hurry, but her excitement quickly turned to despair. What is this? It was a lamp. What am I gonna do with a lamp?
Idiot.
Shut up! I hate my life. Why would you give me a lamp? Crazy ways parents punish their kids. This guy said that when he was a kid, his mom had this crazy punishment for whenever he talked back to them or used inappropriate language. Hey, I said no Minecraft till you're done with your homework. Homework is dumb, Mom. This is bull. Whenever something like that happened, she would force him to smell the dog's breath. Get your dog? Mom, no.
I said get your dog.
Rufus, come here, buddy. Come here, Rufus. I'm just gonna hold your mouth open for a second, okay? Smell it. Smell it. What did you eat today, man? Crazy things that happened at school. This person said that during their senior year of high school, someone took a massive dump in one of the girls' bathrooms. And by massive, I mean people said it was inhuman how large this poop was. Well, when the first kids saw this, they were amazed. Oh my God. Well, word spread pretty quickly. And within no time, the entire school was made aware of this behemoth dump. And more than 50 students began skipping class to witness this incredible sight. Literally, they were lining up outside this bathroom, taking pictures with it. Oh my God, that's crazy. One kid was even genius enough to start charging admission to see the poop. Head on in. Hold on, you're next, don't worry. $5? Guys, it's $5 to see the poop. If you don't have it, please get out of the line. It's actually beautiful. I know. Mrs. Stevens?
Shh, don't tell the principal.
A plumber was then called and the poop was removed. People still talk about that day. The day someone's monster poop managed to bring a smile to the entire school. To this day, no one knows who laid that poop egg. But needless to say, they're all very grateful to that person. So it's this kid's birthday party, and his mom lets her sister, his aunt, make the cake since she's a baker. Well, everyone gathers around and the aunt brings out the cake. Well, the lid comes off and it says, "Happy birthday, Kyle and Jason." Kyle's the birthday kid. Jason isn't. Jason is his aunt's son, his cousin. The mom's like, "Are you serious? Why is your kid's name on my son's cake?" And the aunt shrugs. "It's fine, they can share, they can blow out the candles together." Absolutely not. This is his birthday, not your son's. So what happened was Kyle's cousin Jason was incredibly spoiled, and he couldn't stand to be at another kid's birthday party. He had to make it about him as well. Well, the two sisters start arguing in front of the entire party, and everybody is incredibly uncomfortable. It looks like they're about to start throwing hands, when finally Kyle's mom says, "You know what? Take your cake and your spoiled kid and leave my frickin' house." The aunt storms out with the cake, and 10 minutes later, the dad comes in with a cake from Walmart, and the birthday party was saved. But the mom still hasn't talked to her sister since then. For real though, who would think that's okay? So this school was doing Spirit Week. You know, Pajama Day, Wacky Wednesday, stuff like that. Well, on Wacky Wednesday, this one kid showed up in a full suit of armor. Boots, gloves, gauntlets, the whole thing, 3 layers, night helmet, it was epic. And the school let him keep it on. Well, after second period, these 3 8th graders, who were the school bullies, decided to make fun of him. "Hey, nice outfit, Tin Man. What you got under there?"
Yeah, nice outfit, metal boy.
Well, he's just standing there, not saying a word. The bullies didn't like this, so they start to attack him. "What's your problem, dude?" "Yeah, what's your problem?" "My foot." One punches his shoulder, his hand is shaking, it might be broken. Some kid kicks him in the groin, his foot is hurting. And the third one, big guy, punches his knee and literally breaks his wrist. Ow! You're my foot! My foot! My wrist, guys. Guys, my wrist. It's broken. It's broken. Principal shows up and calls it a school fight. The kid in the armor gets suspended for a week, even though he did not touch any of them. He literally just stood there in his knight armor that the school let him wear. And the bullies, they didn't get in trouble at all. And that, my friends, is messed up. He made bank at school. It started in 7th grade when one kid noticed the same thing every single week. Somebody forgot their lunch, somebody's card got declined, or somebody just straight up didn't eat. And every single time, they'd beg their friends for food or snacks at the table, and their friends are like, no bro, get your own. Listen, I've been there. So this kid started a business, $5 a month. And if your lunch ever fell through, he would spot you, no questions asked. So he started carrying a backpack full of basic lunch foods. A bunch of PB&Js, chips, granola bar, juice boxes, nothing fancy, but it was food. He called this business lunch insurance. Brilliant. People laughed at him at first. Yo, this is a dumb business, dude. Oh, you think so? Just you wait. But during that first week of business, 4 kids needed this. Hey, remember when I called your idea dumb? First of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, I forgot my lunch again, and I think I'm just gonna subscribe to the service. Oh, okay. By month 2, he had 22 subscribers, and now he had tiers. Bronze tier got you a basic fix of food. Basic PB&J, basic granola bar, basic juice box. The silver tier came with kind of upgraded items. Be a salami sandwich, a Capri Sun instead of a basic juice box, and maybe he'd throw in a Nutter Butter or something. And gold tier had even better items, and on top of that, hot Cheetos. He had a clipboard and a list. This guy was official. And guess what, my friends? Business was absolutely booming. Eventually, a teacher saw him divvying out snacks to people. She thought it was a black market. Well, the kid explained it. Clipboard, the tiers, lunch insurance, customer feedback. Teacher just stared at him and said, "You might be a genius, but stop with the hot Cheetos, okay? Those are banned at our school." And he did switch out the food. Instead of hot Cheetos, now he had Sun Chips, garden salsa, harvest cheddar. He was doing it right. By April, he had over 60 paying subscribers, and even a couple teachers on the list. His total revenue? $2,700. You gotta respect the hustle. This kid is crazy. The person that shared this said that there was a kid at their high school who got in trouble for using a keylogger to steal teachers' gradebook logins to change grades. He was also stealing credit card information from all the teachers as well. Well, the school administration eventually found out and he was expelled. What did he do then? He used a throwaway email address to email a revenge PowerPoint to every single student, teacher, and alumni of that school. The PowerPoint had Photoshop pictures of all the teachers and staff doing weird stuff. Well, one of the kids from that school ran into this guy a few years ago, and he actually graduated from Harvard and is a very successful real estate agent. That's crazy. This high school made a huge mistake. All of the boys' bathrooms at this one high school were shut down by the school because somebody was stealing toilet paper. So they closed down the bathrooms until the person who was stealing toilet paper turned themselves in. Well, that's not fair to the other students. For about a week, the boys' bathrooms were closed, and the boys were getting very upset by it. How can they lock the bathrooms? What if I had to poop? I have to poop right now. I've been holding it in every single day. Boys, I have an idea. After lunch, at exactly 1:15 p.m., stand on your desks and take a dump right there. Spread the word. The second the clock hit 1:15, this is what happened. A total of 25 dudes pooped on their desks in the middle of class. The school actually got into huge trouble for denying people bathroom privileges, and the poop incident went down in history. Come here, idiot. Not you again. Every single day at lunch, this same bully would walk by this kid. He would slam his lunch tray down and laugh. Oops, my bad. I guess you're eating off the floor again. The kid would just pick it up. He would try not to cause a scene, but it kept happening every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, finally this kid had enough. He snapped. One day he showed up to lunch with a shiny metal lunchbox. It looked normal and nobody thought twice, but inside the lunchbox were 2 heavy bricks. The thing was heavy, but he was carrying it around like it was normal. So here comes the bully. He's smirking. Ha, hey, let me help you with your new lunchbox, lunch boy. Oh, okay. And just like every other day, the bully smacks the lunchbox. But right as the bully's hand hits the lunchbox, the kid lets go right above the bully's foot. My toe! I think it's broken. Oops, my bad. And the bully's toe was broken, but it was his own fault. After that day, he did not mess with this kid ever again. Yeah, good. Recess used to be the best part of the day, but this school ruined it. It started after one kid tripped during freeze tag. The kid hit his head, and the school banned running.
You guys can still play tag, okay? Just walking tag.
Walking tag? What the heck?
So the kids pushed through. They were power shuffling, they were speed walking, they were kind of like twirling around, they weren't running. Well, a girl pivoted too weirdly and she twisted her ankle. So then tag was banned. The kids were like, all right, fine, let's switch to something else. So everyone began to jump rope. Well, as they were going around one day, the rope hit and smacked somebody in the eye, and she was pretty injured, I guess. Then jump ropes, they were banned. They tried catch, but one day the ball hit a teacher.
Ow! Hey, no more balls!
So they started tossing around pine cones, and then they had to stop doing that. So finally, one kid brings Uno. Surely this is gonna be fine. But one day they were having a pretty intense Uno game, and everyone began arguing, and it was almost a full-blown fist fight.
No, man, you are an absolute cheater. I didn't cheat, Steven. Screw you. You smell like crap.
That's it.
Uno and any other game like that was then banned as well. By spring, there was like nothing they can do. No balls, no ropes, no running, no cards, no pine cones. And at some point, it stopped being recess. It was just kids walking around aimlessly under adult supervision. No talking in groups, absolutely no messing around. They started calling it the yard, like a prison yard. And that's exactly what it looked like. I mean, come on. What's recess without a little risk? This girl's parents were so strict. They banned birthdays at their house. No cake, no candles, no parties. So on her 13th birthday, her friends found out. Wait, so you never had a birthday party ever? Nope, never. They were stunned. That is so messed up. You know what? Tomorrow night, we're throwing you one. One of them's house was the perfect spot. A huge backyard, a pool, lights were already strung up for vibes, and they spread the word. By sundown the next day, the backyard was packed. Music blasting, kids cannonballing in the pool. The girl who was hosting the party's parents were there just to keep everyone safe. But they were just sitting back, relaxing. Everyone was even chanting her name when she walked in. Marissa, Marissa, happy birthday, Marissa. And for the first time ever, she had a birthday cake with real candles in it. And right as she blew out those candles, there they were. She saw her parents walk into the backyard. Everyone got silent. What is this? Her friend stepped in. Hey, she deserves this. It's her 13th birthday. Her parents looked around and there was dozens of people just staring at them. They were uncomfortable, so they just said, all right, well, we'll pick you up here at 10, okay? 10 p.m. And they left. But still, that was the birthday that she would never, ever forget. It's a slow Tuesday morning. This guy's working at the front of a bank. He's the security guard. And it's a fairly standard shift. Doop-ba-doop-ba-doo, I'm a security guard at the bank. Now, at a bank, most people come in, they do their thing, and then they leave. Well, one day, this guy came in, he was looking pretty sketchy. Walking to the bank. Crap. He sees the security guard, and then he walks back outside. And the security guard is like, yo, this is kind of weird, so he kind of walks by the door. Well, this sus guy is pacing the sidewalk and he's on the phone. He's obviously stressed, and the security guard overhears just one sentence. Nuh-uh, man, I am not doing this crap. You said nothing about a security guard. I will not take him out. Then, for a second, they make eye contact, and they stare at each other for a short while. And he's gone. The bank reports the situation immediately, but nothing ever actually happened, so they couldn't really do anything about it. But the security guard knew one thing. That guy was definitely gonna rob the bank that day if he wasn't there, and that's crazy. Exactly how popular is Minecraft? Minecraft is one of the best-selling games of all time, and last year they announced a huge milestone of over 300 million sales. Minecraft was released almost 13 years ago. Well, let's put this all into perspective. 300 million sales equals 47 copies of Minecraft sold a minute every minute since it was released in 2011. 47 copies a minute since 2011. That's actually insane. Oh, great. There's a hole in my shoes. Hey, Bill, can you get me a pair? Bill! Yeah, what's up, boss? Can you get me a pair? A pair of what? I don't have time for this, okay? I'm texting you the address. This is my usual spot, alright? Please be back quick. Okay. This should be the place. Mr. Stevens, you saucy dog. How can I help you? Yeah, I'll take a pair of your finest twins, please. What? Yeah, I'll take your finest pair of twins. This is a f***ing shoe store. Oh, a pair of shoes. You guys should really fix your sign. This story is crazy. The guy that shared this story said that he had a coworker. And one day at work, this coworker came in with some exciting news. I have some very exciting news. I got married. Oh, what? Bro, we didn't even know you were seeing anybody, but congrats. They were all confused because this guy was kind of strange and he wasn't very smart. But he showed them a picture of him and his new bride. Yeah, I got a picture right here. This is us on our wedding day. His coworkers were immediately suspicious. They thought he had made the entire thing up and photoshopped her in that picture. Well, not exactly. Turns out this dude met her online on some Russian bride website, and she immediately wanted to get married, so she moved to the United States and lived with him. But before long, she came up with some crazy story, had him arrested and committed to a psych ward. She cleaned out his bank accounts, sold everything he owned, and then disappeared forever. Eventually, this dude's mother and his boss worked together to get him released from the psych ward, and he came back to work, and they all pitched in money to buy him at least a few pieces of furniture. Genius ways, kids cheated on a test. This teacher shared this story. On this particular day, they were taking a test in one of this teacher's classes. A kid comes in. He sits by the window. The kid then asks the teacher if he could open the window because it's kind of warm in the room. The teacher says sure. The kid opens the window. She passes out the test. That kid scribbles something down for about 30 minutes and then asks to use the bathroom. The kid then came back, finished the test, and turned it in. So what happened here? Where's the twist? When the kid opened the window, he also opened the screen. After he got his test, he secretly dropped it out of the window. The test fell to the ground where his friend was waiting. His friend was incredibly smart. His friend took the test to the bathroom and filled it out himself. Now the kid, back in the room, had to make it look like he was working on his test. So he was scribbling nonsense on a piece of notebook paper. When he asked to go to the bathroom, he met up with his friend. His friend gave him the test, he came back to class, and he turned it in. He got an A on that test. The teacher would have had no idea that this happened if it hadn't been for another student who snitched. But I gotta say, that's absolutely genius. Black Markets Kids Ran in Their Schools Part 22. This one was sent to me by a follower. In high school, he was on the yearbook team. That meant he had a yearbook pass, which allowed him to roam the schools and leave school grounds during his yearbook period. And that period was right before lunch. So every day he took food orders for more than 20 students. He would go pick up the food, bring it back to school, and charge them the cost of the order plus $2. It wasn't much, but he was making a couple $100s a month. The best part is the security guard caught on to what he was doing, and he had to pay the security guard a small fee to stay quiet. At Logan's house, there was one rule. Don't go near the piano room, ever. His mom said it was off limits. For emotional reasons, his dad called it a sacred space, and anytime a guest walked past the room, the family would act weird. Nothing to see in this room. One time, Logan's friend leaned on the door and the mom freaked out. So I was thinking that we can go to the, Hey! Oh, no. Well, that night during the sleepover, Logan admitted something. Yo, I've actually never been in the room myself either. You've never been in that room? No. Well, around 2 a.m., Logan's friend who was sleeping over just couldn't handle it anymore, so he got up and he snuck to the piano room. And then he opened the door. And that's when we saw it. Logan's dad was inside wearing a tuxedo, sitting at a grand piano, his fingers hovering above the keys. He wasn't playing, his fingers were just doing this. He then said, "Get out of here and close the door." Okay. He slammed the door shut and went back to sleep. He later found out that Logan's dad had a very weird obsession with grand pianos, and apparently that time of night was his sacred time. So, I don't know, super weird. A dirty pair of shoes changed his entire life. It started when this kid noticed something weird. Every single Friday, without fail, this one math teacher wore the same busted sneakers. Grimy white New Balances that were definitely super stained. So one day during lunch, this 8th grader walks up to him. "You know I can clean those shoes for you, right?" "Eh?" Be my guest. So they go to his classroom, he gives him the New Balances and puts on another pair of shoes, and this kid takes the teacher's shoes home. He wants to do a good job, so he's watching tutorials on YouTube, he borrows his cousin's shoe cleaning kit, he goes to town. Well, he brings those shoes back looking brand spanking new. Yo, these are nice. Can you clean the shoes I actually care about though? And just like that, word spreads fast. By next week, this kid's got a folded up table in the corner of the lunchroom with a sign that says, Sneaker Shine, $5 for basic, $10 for premium. He brought in toothbrushes to scrub the stuff, he had suede brushes to keep that suede looking fresh, and he had like sneaker whitening pens. By week 3, some of the football players are giving him their cleats after practice for him to clean. By week 4, he's got some teachers that are giving him their shoes. And by week 5, this kid is shining shoes during class, doing algebra with one hand and scrubbing Vans with the other. Business was absolutely booming. Well, one teacher, who's kind of lame, reported him for running an unauthorized business. The principal pulled him aside and said, look, you're not in trouble. Just don't make a mess, keep it quiet, and bring your rates down for school staff. For you, Mr. Johnson, you got it. And for you, always free. He made $800 in 2.5 months. Eventually, after a while, it did get out of hand and he had to stop. But by that point, he had a huge clientele, and he started his own website. Gotta respect the hustle. It started with one kid and a toaster. One day, this one kid brings a toaster to school, like an actual toaster. He plugged it into the wall outlet by the lockers and began making Pop-Tarts before first period. Morning, bro, what you doing? I'm making my breakfast. S'mores Pop-Tarts today. Is that your toaster? Absolutely. Well, this pre-class breakfast situation began to grow pretty quickly. By the next week, different groups of kids had brought in their own toaster. They were cooking up Eggos, jelly toast. People were bringing flasks of syrup. One kid brought in one of those electric flat iron stoves. Soon, every morning throughout the school, there were entire breakfast zones, each zone cooking a different breakfast item. And it was kind of awesome. These zones were behind the bleachers, in the band room, in a corner of the library. Teachers were finding pancake batter in the sinks. It was a mess. Well, quickly, the school shut it all down, but the smell of cinnamon lingered for a while. Then, my friends, on the last day of school, during morning announcements, which they always had a student do, people heard this. Oh my god. Did you guys smell that? The sound was the sizzling of bacon coming through the intercom in every room of the school, and people were beginning to smell the bacon. And right before they were able to turn off the intercom, everybody heard this. You can never take our breakfast. Long live breakfast. That kid wanted to end the year a legend, so he cooked bacon on the intercom to get back at the school for shutting down their breakfast clubs. So this guy's at a crowded park, and there's a bunch of food trucks set up. There's no tables, no benches. Everyone's just sitting and eating on this concrete wall. Well, there's only one open spot left, and he begins walking towards it. And as he gets closer to this wall, he sees this lady rushing towards it. And she's dressed pretty nice, like she just left church or something. She begins jogging, but he beats her there. He walks up to the wall, and right behind it, in the grass, is a huge pile of dog poop, right where your butt would be if you leaned back too much. So naturally, he decides not to sit down. And at that point, she storms up behind him and says,
Seriously? I was gonna sit there.
Go ahead, have a seat. And she sits down. And then 2 seconds later, she screams. She stands up and this dog poop is smeared all over her back. Oh, she says to this guy,
Why didn't you say anything to me?
I didn't know how you were gonna sit down. I thought you were just gonna perch on the ledge like a normal person. And she storms off, furious. But like she did try to race him there. The weirdest compliments people received. This woman was stopped on the street by a stranger. Hey, excuse me. Yeah? I just wanted to say that I love your cheekbones. You look like an elf. Thank you. This person also got a weird compliment. Hey bro, this is Jack. Hey, what's up, man? Jack, nice to meet you. I'm Carl. Oh man, what? Let me see that. You have an awesome left ear. Thank you, man. That's really nice of you to say. This girl was on a date. Hi, Steven, right? Stacy, you look different than in your pictures. Well, I hope that's a good thing. Oh, no, it's good. You look like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. But in a cute way, like a cute Gollum. And last but not least, have you ever been complimented by your dentist? Well, this dude has. Buddy, your oral cavity
Is amazing to work with. There's so much space in here.
Oh, thank you.
Black markets kids ran in their schools, a subscriber submission. At this person's middle school, the lunchroom never served any sides with any of their meals. So if they were serving hot dogs, it was just a hot dog. Burgers, it was just the burgers. Pizza, just the pizza. Well, the kids at the school thought this was bogus. Every good lunch needs a side. So this guy had a brilliant idea. Every morning before school, he would heat up a bunch of French fries in his air fryer. And I'm talking a lot of French fries. He would then put them in an insulated pack so they stayed warm. And at lunch, he would sell them to other students. It was an immediate hit. Business was, you know what I'm gonna say, booming. On average, he was making $100 a day. This went on for weeks. You can imagine how much money he was making. One day, the school found out what he was doing, but they didn't shut it down. They were impressed, so they gave him his own stand to run during lunch, where he would sell the fries that he made. All in all, he had made over $10,000. The weirdest things kids have ever done. The person that shared this said that last year, as she was picking up her dog's poop in her backyard, she realized that her dog had pooped more, and some of the poops were looking very weird. She didn't think too much of it. Well, every day after that, for about 3 weeks, she kept noticing these weird poops in the yard. She was starting to get concerned. Was her dog sick? Why did some poops look normal and some poops look weird? She then called and made an appointment to take the dog to a vet. Well, a couple of days before the appointment, she was doing dishes in her kitchen. That's when she glanced out the kitchen window and noticed something strange happening in her backyard. It was her daughter, pooping in the yard. Those weird poops did not come from the dog. They came from her own kid. Turns out her daughter had been pooping in their backyard every day for weeks because she was scared of the bathroom. Yeah, I'm gonna need to cancel my dog's appointment. Yeah, bye-bye. Did this kid do anything wrong? This happened right before Christmas break. He was sitting in class. His friend was sitting right next to him and there was a girl sitting behind him. Throughout the class, he started getting whiffs of a fart smell. What in the world? But he ignored it because he assumed it would just probably go away. But then it got to a point where it was happening every 1 to 2 minutes. Oh, God. Towards the end of the class, he whispers to his friend, "Yo, bro, who the heck keeps farting? It's pissing me off. I can't focus." Dude, I smell it too. Right? Well, the girl sitting behind him heard this, and she immediately started crying. At this point, everyone is staring at them. The girl runs out of the classroom, and the teacher goes out there to see what happens. She told the teacher that she was embarrassed. Long story short, everyone knows she farted and cried about it, and now the dean wants to talk to them when they get back from Christmas break. Do you think he did anything wrong? Let me know. It's 7th grade, and this kid Lucas brings a bunch of Costco gum to school. Tons of packs. Every single flavor. And he never made a big deal about it, but he would pull them out here and there so that people could see. And naturally, they would ask for a piece of gum. And when they did, 50 cents. Oh, I don't have any money right now. Oh, that's fine. Pay me later. And that was his thing. You know, at first, people were like, he's not going to ask for that money later, you know? It's just a piece of gum. But that's where they were completely wrong. Because after he would give someone a piece of gum and say, pay me later, he would pull out a tiny notebook and write down the debt in that notebook. Everybody had a tab. Their name, their flavor, and how much they owed. But the thing is, he wanted this debt to grow. He would walk up to them. Hey, so you still owe me from last week, but I just got this crazy new watermelon flavor. You want a piece? I'll just put it on your tab. And he just kept stacking debt on top of debt on top of debt. Until finally, he decided it was time to collect. He goes to the 2 biggest kids in class. Carl? Mordecai? Yeah. I'll give you 10%. Here's the list. Get me my money. And they would go around school with the list. Hey, you got Lucas's money? I'm here to collect. And these kids were big and intimidating, and people did pay him back. Lucas made like $175 before this whole thing was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle, I guess. At this school during lunch, milk cartons were free, and they were all just sitting on this table. So one day, These 3 fifth graders, they stockpiled 20 milk cartons, shoving them in their backpacks, in their pockets, up their sleeve, and they take them out to recess. They walk over to the brick wall on the side of the building, and they just start chucking the milk cartons against the wall. Yeah, milk! Milk! The milk cartons are exploding, milk is spraying everywhere, a crowd gathers. Kids are cheering, they're watching this like it's a frickin' sporting event. Well, that's when somebody says, "Yo, the principal, he's coming!" Oh crap. The 3 milk chuckers put their hoods up and they just disappear into the crowd. The vice gets there. Alright, who did this? And it was instant snitching, names and details. The principal immediately starts searching for these kids. And there were close calls, but these guys were really sneaky. Hiding against benches, behind trees, in the slide. Somehow, they never get caught. And the rest of the day is a frickin' mission. At lunch, the principal and the vice principal are posted at the table that these kids usually sit at. Oh crap, he's right there. Let's eat in the band room. Milk! That entire day they managed to escape the wrath of the principal. And when school was over, they went home. But the craziest part is, some random kid cleaned up the milk wall by himself, just because he wanted to. When the principal went out and asked him why he was doing this, "Why are you doing this?" "Because it's the right thing to do." That's legendary. One day, this kid bought a bunch of clear iPhone cases for cheap, and he had this friend who was good with graphic design. So what he would do is he would have his friend make this cool design of whatever he wanted. His friend would then print it and cut it down so it would fit perfectly inside this phone case. And it looked awesome. Clear phone case, this graphic design insert, it was legit. Custom fit, looked expensive. He did it to his phone case first. It was an anime design and it looked awesome. People saw this and they were immediately intrigued. Well, interest grew. And soon, he was taking orders for people. NBA, anime, SpongeBob, Shrek, he was making these custom phone cases and selling them. Then he starts bundling them together. 3 phone cases for $10, 6 for $15, and business was absolutely booming. He kept buying these clear phone cases, his friend kept designing these designs and custom cutting them to fit the cases, and people were buying them. They were all over the school. The thing was, his friend that was designing these and printing them was using the school's printers. The IT guy realized how much printing had been done and he told the principal. And this whole thing had to be shut down. But by then he had made $530. And those phone cases became collectibles. Some students even reselling them for 3 times the price they bought them for. Honestly, you gotta respect the hustle. Mr. Donnelly was the new history teacher. Perfectly combed hair, crisp tie, he was very well put together. Then one day, one kid finds him on a bodybuilding website. Apparently, Mr. Donnelly used to compete in bodybuilding competitions. Well, he saw this picture of him, spray tan, oiled up, posing like a bodybuilder, and his bodybuilding name was Titan Steel. Well, this kid tells a bunch of people in his class. And the next morning, "Good morning, class, how are we doing today?" "Good morning, Titan Steel." He's shocked. "Excuse me?" "Oh, sorry, Mr. Donnelly." And by lunch, everybody knew Mr. Donnelly's secret. "Hey, Mr. Steel, you gonna bench the vending machine?" "What you got for lunch today, Titan? Bunch of chicken breasts and protein powder?" Oh my god. And he's hearing it. All day, every day, whispers of Titan Steel this, Titan Steel that. By January, he freaking snaps. "If one more person says that name, I am quitting Titan Steel." The next day, he was gone and there was a sub. He actually quit that job. I guess he would rather be unemployed than be Titan Steel. Wow. That's absolutely insane. This guy wants to know if he did anything wrong. So where he works, there's this rule that you cannot have any electronics at all on you. No phones, no smartwatches, no pagers, nothing. Well, at this time, he had been working there for about 6 months, and his wife was fully aware of this rule. She knew not to contact him during the workday. Every morning when he gets to work, he drops his phone off in his locker, and he typically has it on Do Not Disturb. Well, on this particular day, there was a huge fire on the secondary work site. This guy would occasionally work on that work site, but on this day, he was in the main office. Well, his wife didn't know that. The fire was blazing. It made it on the news. Now, his wife watching the news was obviously freaking out because the fire was blazing while people were still inside the building. There were casualties and people seriously injured. She calls her husband, 20 times to be exact. Well, somehow his do not disturb got taken off, or he never turned it on in the first place because his phone was ringing very loudly in his locker. His boss called him into the office and chewed him out. He was written up because his phone was going off. He saw those 20 missed calls from his wife and he was super mad. And now getting written up is hurting his chances of a raise and a promotion. He called her back and she was sobbing, asking if he was okay. He said, "Of course I am. Why the heck would you call me 20 times? When he got home, she was super upset with him. He kind of realized what he did and tried to apologize, but she wouldn't take it. For days after that, she slept in another room and barely talked to him. But even so, he still thinks he had a very good reason to be angry and yell at her. What do you think? She was worried about his safety. We are here with Steve. And Steve is not a big fan of his grandma, especially around the holidays. Can you tell us why that is, Steve? Yeah, well, my grandma's a grade A hole. She would give me the worst Christmas gifts ever. One year, she gave us a VHS tape of the Bible, and this was in 2012, so no one still had a freaking VHS player, you know. I threw that away. Okay, what else? When I was 10, she gave me a guitar for Christmas, and then she made me pay her back for it the week after. Yeah, and I had to pay her back. Because she's a scary woman. I am so sorry, Steve. Did anything else come to mind? Yeah, one year she gave me a gumball machine with expired candy in it. She kept the key to get the money out. She said that the money I used to put in there is payment for the machine. She would come and collect that money once a month. That is super petty. Craziest one yet was actually last year. She gave me a cooking pan, but there was still eggs in it from the last time she used it. I actually have a picture here. Is she still alive? No. Thank God. Genius ways people cheated on tests. In middle school, this dude and his best friend had every single class together. Well, he had a hard time in school, but his best friend was super smart. Well, they came up with a brilliant idea. Yeah, dude, I don't know, I keep failing the tests. I try to study, but it's just so hard. That sucks, dude. I'm getting straight A's. Shut up, dude, I know. Hey, can you tutor me? I don't got time for that, bro, but I have an even better idea. Students were actually allowed to eat during class, especially tests, and most of the tests in the school were multiple choice. A, B, C, or D. Whenever there was a test, his smart friend would bring a bag of M&Ms to class. When the test began, the smart kid would eat an M&M for every single question. Like I said, these tests were mostly multiple choice. Well, if he ate a red M&M, it would mean A. If he ate a yellow, it would mean B. Orange, C, and blue, D. So this kid would just sit back and fill in the answers based on what M&M his friend ate. And this plan worked brilliantly. He started passing all the tests. They were a good team, and the only reason they got caught is because some kids snitched on them. They both got detention, and the school changed the eating in class rule. Oh my god, I puked in the garbage. This kid figured out that if you puked at school, they had to send you home. So one day, this kid wanted to get out of math class, so he brings a Ziploc bag to school. Well, the Ziploc bag was filled with chicken noodle soup, mashed bananas, and a splash of orange Gatorade. He walks into math class holding his stomach. Oh gosh. Then, right before the math test begins, I think I'm gonna be sick. He runs to the garbage can, throws his head in there, and secretly dumps out the Ziploc bag. Oh my god, he threw up. Oh my god. Go to the nurse. Go home. I'm gonna call the janitor to get this garbage out of here. His Ziploc puke bag concoction looked like actual vomit. The teacher didn't want anything to do with it. His plan worked. Well, a couple days later, 3 other kids got sick, all using the exact same method. Turns out this freaking kid was selling pre-filled throw-up bags for $10 each and keeping them in his locker. Premium puke mix, $10, looks real and smells real. Step right up, step right up. He almost made $150 in a single week, but one kid kind of overdid it. Oh my god, I'm gonna puke. And threw the entire puke bag on the teacher's desk. Bro. What is this? The school caught on, a bunch of kids got in super big trouble, and this whole thing was shut down, but still. Disgusting, brilliant, profitable, you gotta respect the hustle. On Monday, Mr. Davis said, "Bring a towel and wear old clothes on Friday, class." No explanation, that was it. And the rumors start instantly. Bro, we're painting. No, guys, we're making slime. One kid remembers seeing a package of unfilled water balloons in a Walgreens bag, sitting on Mr. Davis's desk. No, guys, listen to me. It's water balloons. That seemed like the most reasonable explanation, and kids got hyped. By Friday, everyone's ready. One kid brings a change of clothes, one kid's wearing goggles, most of the class is in their swimsuits. They're super hyped. Well, they get in Mr. Davis's class and they walk outside. There's water balloons everywhere, buckets full of them, and the weather's perfect. This is a dream come true. Yes. Literally a dream. Imagine a water balloon fight in the middle of school day. That's when Mr. Davis says this. All right, class, today we are studying projectile motion. Huh? Each of you will take turns throwing one water balloon at that wall right there. Then we'll log your trajectory data and calculate your angles. That's it. It's an actual frickin' lesson. One by one, kids are launching water balloons at this blank wall. One kid really wanted to splash someone, so he fake stumbles and accidentally pops a balloon on one of his classmates. Oops. That felt nice. Hey, no fooling around. That's a 0 for both of you. Now, they were never promised a water balloon fight, but they built themselves up and they truly believed it. At this school, swimming class was mandatory. Twice a week, full swimsuit, no excuses. This was also in the 80s. Well, then bomb threats started to happen. And they were always during 4th period. Every time students were getting their suits on for swim class, the alarm would go off. Whole school evacuated, the cops would show up, dogs would come in sniffing around, and it kept happening at the same time every single week for like a month. Some teachers thought it was an actual threat. The principal was panicking, nobody knew what to do, but it was just one kid doing this. He didn't want to swim, he couldn't swim, he hated swimming, I don't know. So every swim day, he would leave school campus, walk down the street to the gas station, use the gas station payphone to call the school, and call in a fake bomb threat. Like no voice changer, it was his normal voice, and he would just say,
Yeah, there's a bomb at the school. You should probably check on that.
He was caught, suspended for 2 weeks, and had to retake swimming class that summer. And that is the craziest way anyone has ever skipped gym class. When she was in 2nd grade, her older sister got glasses, and instantly she wanted a pair of glasses as well. So she told her parents.
I can't see the board at school.
So they take her to the eye doctor. He does a test, and she's pretending like she can't see. 2 minutes in, he says, yeah, she's lying. She can see fine. But her parents still believed her. And they're like, no, you better give her some glasses. He writes a prescription, and just like that, a week later, her glasses are ready. At first, she loved them, even though she couldn't really see in them because, well, she lied during that test. But she loved the frames, she loved the attention she was getting, but she kept wearing them for years. And her eyes kept adjusting to the prescription, and the prescription kept getting stronger and stronger. We'll flash forward 10 years, and now every day, she wears a pair of the thickest glasses because she actually can barely see without them now. And she's pretty sure it's because back in 2nd grade, she lied when taking the eye test, and she ruined her eyesight forever. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. If you're like me and your phone is always dead, you gotta get this. It's called the INEU Power Paw, and this is one of the fastest portable chargers I've ever seen. I charge it up fully. I love that little paw that lights up, and this thing lasts forever, and it's a super fast charger. I'm charging my phone right now. You can charge up to 3 devices at the same time. It even comes with this cool carrying case. The INEU Power Paw is a game changer, and I highly recommend this product. You're missing out if you don't have it. Every school has that weird kid, and every weird kid does, well, something weird. The person that shared this specific story with me said that there was a weird kid in one of his classes, and every day he would do this exact same thing. Now, this kid was pretty tall, and he was wide. He was a pretty big dude. Well, every single day during this specific class, he would bring in a package of cookies. He would open the package and neatly stack the cookies on the left side of his desk. Then, starting from the top of the cookie stack, he would take one bite out of cookie 1 and place it on the right side of the desk. Then, he would take a bite out of the next cookie and place it on top of cookie 1 and repeat until that original tower was on the right side, with each cookie having one bite taken out of it. Once they were all stacked again, he would repeat the process. Well, after about 15 minutes, every single cookie was eaten. He would wipe the crumbs in the floor and just sit there until class was over. The thing is, this school had a very strict no eating in class rule, but no one ever told him anything. His process of eating these cookies was so intricate that no one messed with him just out of respect. And to this day, he still goes by Cookie Man. So this kid gets yelled at for not turning in math homework. Teacher goes, "You'll never make it in the real world like this." And the kid said, "I'm not trying to make it in your world." Class laughs, the teacher's annoyed. Well, here's the thing. This kid's been working with his cousin on buying and fixing up old vending machines. They would then stock it and put it places. By senior year, he's got a handful of these vending machines. And he's pulling more money from these machines than most people make at full-time jobs. And it reminded me of this book I read, 5 Types of Wealth. It'll help you rethink how you're living your life and how you're spending your time. And what this book goes over will lead to success and happiness in multiple areas of your life. I promise. This is my house and my rules. This one dad ran his house like a frickin' business. Instead of allowance, there was a chore system. Every Sunday night, he'd post a list on the fridge. Vacuuming, dishes, mowing, even stuff like wiping down the baseboards. All right, kids, this is your work week. Everything must be done by Friday. And here's the catch. If something wasn't done or it was done poorly, you would owe him $5. And no, they weren't losing allowance. They didn't get an allowance. They would actually owe him $5. So Friday after work, he would come into the house. He had a clipboard, and he would check every single thing that he put on the chore list. Your bedroom trash can was still full. There was grass clippings all over the yard. That's $10 total. Didn't matter if you had a job or not. If you were in debt that Friday night, you had the weekend to figure it out, or else. One of his kids ended up mowing 3 neighbors' yards. Another one was begging for shifts at the local ice cream shop. Hey, can I please work a few hours today? Who are you? And if you didn't pay him by Sunday night, he would start taking stuff. Game controllers, headphones, even his kids' bikes. There was no limit. And that has to be the craziest thing I've heard in a long time. He got punched on purpose, and his plan worked. In 7th grade, this one kid, Zach, had been dealing with this guy named Tyler for a while now, and Tyler was a piece of work. He was loud, annoying, and constantly trying to get a rise out of Zach. Well, the thing is, Zach never let it get to him. He never shouted back, he never did anything mean to him, he didn't fight, he just waited. Until one Friday at dismissal, Zach saw his way. He sees Tyler standing over there by a locker, and he decides to enact his plan. It's time. Oh, hey, yo! He walks by Tyler and softly and accidentally bumps him in the shoulder.
Yo, what is your deal?
Well, Tyler snaps, and all Zach does is stand there. Say something. He doesn't, and that makes him very mad. He then winds up and punches Zach right in the face. You know what, dude? Well, Zach stumbles back, throws up his hands like he's gonna fight back, but then he just says, "Time out, time out. Time out. Yeah, you just punched me in the face, man. I'm not gonna fight you back, though." Everyone's like, yo, what? Guys, I didn't hit him, right? Huh? Look, he hit me. I didn't hit him. Security rolls up, so does the principal. No, he bumped into me. He was gonna fight me. No, it's a crowded hallway. I didn't even touch you. You punched me. What happened? We were fighting. Both of us. What happened? He punched me. I never swung. Zach didn't do anything. Tyler did. They looked at the cameras, and everything checked out. Tyler was suspended for 3 days, and Zach got nothing. The next day, somebody asked Zach, "Yo, dude, was that your plan the entire time?" "What can I say? I played chess." And that was his way of getting back at his bully without lifting a finger. Genius.
ফোন দিয়ে যেতেছি তুমি ফোনই ধরো না, তোমার ফোন ধরার কোনো নামই নাই, কোনো কথা, তোমার ফোন ধরো না কেন?
এবারে এক্সামের প্রিপারেশন কিরকম তোদের? আমি তো খুবই এক্সাইটেড, কারণ আমার প্রিপারেশন খুবই ভালো।
জিসান দরজা খোল।
কি বুঝতেছি না। সুন্দর মতো যাবি, ভাবির নামটা জিজ্ঞাসি। আর শোন, ভালো মতো কথা কবে, ভাবি লাগে। খালি থাপড় আর চাপাবাজি, থাপড় আর চাপাবাজি, এই বাদে আর কিছু পারছস?
বুকিং?
বুকিং মানে বুকিং? তুমি আমার, আমি তোমার, বুকিং দিয়ে দিছি, ফাইনাল।
আমাকে বুকিং দিছে মানে আমাকে কে বুকিং দিছে দোস্ত?
তোর যে আশিক আছে না, এখন তো আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা? কেমন আছো তুমি?
ভালো।
আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবো না? রক্তটা দিবি তুই? আমি কেন রক্ত দেবো? প্রেম খরচ তুই, রক্ত। আমার বন্ধু জিসান আপনাকে অনেক ভালোবাসে ভাবি, আপনার ওর রক্ত যাওয়াটা বিধে হতে দিবেন না ভাবি। তাই তো, কেন ফোন যায় না? নাও তোমার নাম্বারটা তাড়াতাড়ি করে বলো।
ঘন্টার পর তো গার্লফ্রেন্ডের লাগে ওয়েট করতে পারো, আর বন্ধুর লাগে 2 মিনিট ওয়েট করতে পারবা না? ও এখন আমার দোস্ত, তাইলে তো বন্ধু রিত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা
বাদ দে, কালকে 4টা দেখা হবে।
ঠিক আছে মামা। ঠিক আছে মামা, ঠিক মতো যা। শালা পারলাম না রে।
তোর তো হাওয়াটা হয়ে গেল। তুলি তুই তো সুন্দর নাম। আরে শুন, আমি জিসান, আই লাভ ইউ।
আপনাদের তো চিনলাম না। আমার বড় বোনের যে দেবরগুলো আছেন তো সবাইকেই চিনি, বাট আপনাদেরকে তো চিনি না।
যাইতে দে, আর আমার খালা লাগে। কোথায় বলবা? ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা, জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে। দোস্ত
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো? বান্ধবীও তো যায় না, এতবার ফোন দিলাম ফোনও ধরতেছে না। তুমি একটা ফোন দাও তো, ফোন বের করো।
কি বলেন দুলা ভাই, ও যায় নাই? কথা হইছে, ভাইয়া বলছে যে ভাইয়া আমাদের কোচিং এর সামনে আর আসবে না, আর তোকে ডিস্টার্বও করবে না।
জানো না
কারণ না আমি 1 থেকে 3 গুনবো না বাবা। প্রেম হইলেই হবে, প্রেম হইলে এমনি ডিস্টেন্স হবে বাবা। আমার খালি ওরে দরকার।
তুমি বাসে আসার পর থেকে আমাকে বাসে শান্তি সব চলে লাগেছে।
আয় হায়, খাইছে কুচোটা কি তুমি?
তুমি একটা ভিডিও কল করে পাঠাও প্লিজ, প্লিজ। কবে আমগো দেখা
কোচিনটা কি এটা আবার লগে এমন চিপা মাইটা দিয়েছেন? কেমন খানদান বউ?
তারপর তো ভয় কাঁচে মুচু খায়া গেছে গা, তারপর আবার দুর্নাম করতে হইব। এই তোর কি তোর দামি ফোন?
আইসে বাবজান, রাইতে ঠিকঠাক মতো ঘুমাইছে তো নাকি বাসায় গিয়া আব্বাজান রে কইবেন?
কি করছো যে এটা তুই বাজার রে বাজার যাও চুইছে আজকাই করছে
সম্মান সব পাঞ্চার করে দিছে।
মাগার দোষ আমারও আছে, আমি একটু বেশি বাড়াবাড়ি করে ফেলছি। চলো না আমরা বাড়িতে ফিরে যাই।
তুমি কি পাগল হয়ে গেছো নি? এইটাই আমার বাড়ি এখনতে।
চৌধুরী সাহেবের সাথে আমি কি কথা কইছি? তুমি কোনো কথাই কই নাই কে? সাজান তোমারে কইলো এত
দিচ্ছেন, হ্যাঁ দিচ্ছেন না? এলা বাইরন, আমার বাড়িতে বাইরন।
একটা হাসা করছেন আব্বাজান, আপনার পোলার এই বাড়ি কোনো ওই বিতলামি করলে আমি তোরা ঘাড়াই, কিন্তু ভাবলাম আপনাকে একমাত্র পোলা ঘাড়াইলে আবার দিলে চোট পাই।
তুমি
শোনো, তোমাগো খানদানে যেমন কিছু নিয়ম আছে, আমাগো খানদানেও আছে।
এইসব ফাত্রা নিয়ম কেউ যেন জানবার না পারে, মনে থাকবো তো? তোর যে নতুন বাবি